It's Movie Time is brought to you by the Gateway Film Center, 1550 North High Street, Columbus, Ohio. For the details and showtimes online at gatewayfilmcenter.org.
It's Movie Time is produced by John DeSando. Read reviews and watch past shows online at WCBE.org.
You can do it again if you want.
It's Movie Time is produced by John DeSando. Read reviews and watch past shows online. It's Movie Time is produced by John DeSando. Read reviews and watch past shows online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando.
I'm Wayne Miller.
This is It's Movie Time.
It sure is.
All right, now, are you my old buddy, or are you a film critic, or how many of you are here today?
I know. I've been told I've got multiple personalities. It depends. If it's early morning and if I've had my coffee, then I can be one Wayne, but then mean Wayne. You know, I can be nice.
Well, I don't know what we went through last night.
Wow.
After our martinis.
Yes.
But it sure is a kind of haze to me. It's M. Night Shyamalan, perhaps more famous than his actual movies.
Yeah.
And he has a new movie called Split. He is the writer-director of two iconic films,
Yes.
Signs and...
The Sixth Sense.
Thank you.
One of my all-time favorites. I really like The Sixth Sense.
All right, so Wayne and I really looking forward to this film because the buzz is that it's Shyamalan back again.
Yeah, back again to what though, John? I gotta tell you.
Oh, here we go.
I might as well start out. I was sorely disappointed.
Oh.
Entertainment Weekly had a great interview with Shyamalan.
Yeah.
And he talked about going back to his roots and how that, because, he was only 28. In fact, he turned 29 the day
That's
that
right.
The Sixth Sense opened back in 1999.
Right.
And he said he's really happy because, as a lot of people know, his career just film by film by film, right almost down the drain.
Except that I did like The Visit. This is the little kids with the grandparents.
Yes, yes, that was decent.
Right.
That was good.
All right, but much of his reputation rests on the twisted ending.
Yes.
And so it's pretty slim to be relying on that. And so let's look at this film Split.
Yes.
It's about the multiple personality disorder, or otherwise known as DID.
Yeah.
DID.
Yeah. You have multiple personalities.
He is treating the dissociative identity disorder.
Yes.
And which has been in the past. It's not split personality, even though it's called Split.
Yeah.
It's really multiple personalities.
Like a Sybil.
Yeah.
Like that one murderer, I think from Columbus, that had several of them.
Okay.
And of course, film-wise, two movies that in this article on Entertainment Weekly, they give them their due, that talked about this dissociative identity disorder, Psycho, and Fight Club.
Right. And there's a TV program, the United States of Terror.
Yes. Oh, with one of my... now, this is what's funny about that. Starring the Australian actress, Toni Collette.
Yes.
Who I really liked and was nominated for Best Supporting Actress for The Sixth Sense. She played the mom in that.
Interesting.
And kind of an interesting kind of
so
little thing.
What we've got some of the old tropes. This is in the 10 Cloverfield vein of abduction.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And kind of in a bunker-like situation, and they're in the bottom of the zoo.
Yes, which come to find out, you don't find out till the end.
Right, yeah.
And of course, zoo's on our mind right now because of the death of
Colo, yeah,
Colo, 60 years old.
So you got all kinds of twists and turns in these tunnels. So it's fit for all the horror tropes. Yeah. And you've got your young girls.
Yes.
About 16 years old.
Yeah.
And then...
Well, so much of it reminded me of, outside of having FBI agents on the case. It reminded me of a episode of Criminal Minds.
Okay.
Type of situation, which I thought, okay, well, I kind of like that show, and but I find it very dark and disturbing, which this movie really was dark and disturbing, and not to give a lot away, because there's a particular little subplot about the main young lady.
Right, right, and she was the star of the recent The Witch.
Yes.
Anna.
Can't remember her name, but very, very good actress with deep brown eyes.
Yeah.
You know, you find out something very sad and horrific that had occurred in her childhood, and which, John, I'm going to have to get it right off the chest, because since we brought up Psycho, and
Yes.
of course,
And do you see a Psycho? Is it the cross-dressing motif, or?
Well, no. What I see, it's overall about the director Shyamalan.
Yeah.
And what I think he thinks he is this generation's Hitchcock.
Or Brian De Palma.
Well, yes. But the one thing that he does, Shyamalan does, that Brian De Palma doesn't do.
Dress to Kill, I'm thinking. Particularly.
Well, yeah, that's a good one too. But Shyamalan puts himself in a small role in each of his movies.
Oh, yeah.
And in this one, you see him, and he's this one kind of geeky-like character, just a little bit. Usually, just one scene.
Oh, so he's doing the Hitchcock thing.
He does. Yeah, he does. Which I think that is really a conceit that he has, and that's what troubles me, and that's what troubles me about this movie. You know, I think maybe he tries too hard. I don't know. He had an interesting part of his this latter career of his, an interesting limited TV series called Wayward Pines,
Okay.
which was interesting. But like Hitchcock, he takes on these kind of dark, disturbing tales.
Right.
Tries to have a twist at the end.
Right.
And of course, and that's what I think he's still desperately looking for, a twist.
Yes.
As an ending, which he did brilliantly in The Sixth Sense.
Right.
And we won't give anything away.
No, but you want to stay. If some of you are bored or you're cloudy
Or
from
you fall asleep.
your pre-activities, you'll want to stay awake to the end, because we have a cameo
Yes.
from a famous actor, and
Yes.
it's going to. I think that's one of the titillating things about the movie.
Well, but it also confused me though, because they reference one of his earlier movies.
Yes.
And not to give but I tell you, John, I walked away from that.
Well,
And thank God we saw the movie last night. I've had I was angry. Literally, I was driving home angry last night.
I was angry because you're my consigliere, and I turned to you right after I said, "Now wait, what was the twist?"
What happened
and
here?
We were like
It's kind of
fumbling.
yes, and we can't blame it on the pre-screening martinis. I mean, it's kind of like, John, I don't know. I think that maybe it wasn't as much as a twist as we thought it would be, but in the and one thing I was comparing it to, even though that it did not have really a similar plot line or themes,
Right.
but I was comparing it to a movie I thoroughly liked this past year called Don't Breathe.
Oh my
That had
gosh,
twists
yeah.
and a kind of a twist
Wow,
at the
forgot
end.
all about that movie.
And I really, really, really liked
Did
that
like
movie.
it, yes.
And so and I kept thinking, am I unfairly comparing that movie that I really liked to this one, which I gotta tell you, I did not like.
Well, and one of the unfair things is that you go in there almost immediately comparing with his previous films.
Mhm.
It's such an
Yes.
auteur situation
Yes.
that it almost seems like nobody else matters but M. Night Shyamalan. And when you got two critics who are not stupid,
Yeah.
trying to scratch in their heads a little bit.
Thinking,
And I'll tell you another thing. There are two other things I want to remind you of.
Yes.
First of all, the audience did not clap.
Yes.
And usually, the audiences where we go, where it's a screening and a free screening,
Right.
they'll clap for almost anything. I
Yeah.
noted that they didn't. And secondly, this is, as we know, and our audience will know when Johnny and I talk about it in Cinema Classics, this is the dump month.
Yes. Yeah.
This is January. Now, not that every film that comes out in January is a loser, because Silence of the Lambs was not. Well, we're talking 30 years
Yeah.
of losers in January. You know, what is the studio does? It dumps it in January. And I think maybe we've got a dump here.
Well, and one thing I want to bring up too, that I shouldn't read about the movie beforehand. And I didn't read any other reviews yet, but I read that article on Entertainment Weekly, and that talked about, oh, hey, you know, the twist ending and the surprise cameo, and Shyamalan says, oh, the screening audiences just went wild about that, and
They didn't go wild at ours.
No, and that's what I think I was. What really added to my disappointment. And so sometimes you have to really be careful about setting yourself up for disappointment.
Yeah, and there's
that,
so
this
much.
is going to be so good.
There is so much false hype.
God, I almost went
know.
back for another martini.
All right. No. Did you have something else?
Well, it's going to explain why I'm giving it the grade that I decided to give.
All right. Well, I'm about ready to introduce that segment.
Well, but okay.
All right. Wayne Miller.
Yep. Okay.
Film is M. Night Shyamalan's Split. What grade would you offer it?
Driving home last night, I'm thinking, I'm going to give the darn thing a D. D as in dog, plus. But I'm going to change it to C minus for one particular reason. I thought James McAvoy did a superb job in acting. And the different personalities that his character had, and I think he was very good. So acting, you know, I think acting alone really kind of, it didn't really save it overall for me, but it did save it enough.
You know, that's a great point. It's exactly my thinking. I said, and here we had almost a whole show without talking about McAvoy's really excellent star turn in this. And I'm awarding it a C for that very reason, that McAvoy is outstanding. But you know, it's January. And the Oscars come around 12 months from now. This guy will be forgotten. This movie will be forgotten. And that's a shame because, well, let's just say he leaves no scenery uneaten.
Yes.